in reality, for us, is, as it states on the budget, a 96.7 cent rate per thousand on assessed value. That's up from 96 cents. That's about a 0.75% increase. The assessed value is not something in terms of assessed value gain that we gain from, because technically it means we have more runs, more wear and tear, more resources we have to expend with respect to protecting the town in that area. I said it to Chief Bush today, actually, Mr. Supervisor, that if I ever went to the police union and said, I'm going to give you 3.5% more money, but I'm going to expect you to work 3% more hours to get that 3.5%. He said he wouldn't waste the taser on me. He'd go straight to the bullet. So it's one of those scenarios where you may see it as a benefit, but we see it as, hey, the actual benefit is in the rate, which is 96.7 cents. To not overcomplicate things, here's what's at stake. The village has on order right now a $940,000 pumper truck and needs to purchase a new ladder truck, which is at $2.25 million. We have $3.2 million of necessary truck purchases, one on the way, one that will take about 3 years, but we need to start planning. Doing the math, $3.2 million over 12 years at 4% is $330,000 a year in payments. We do have retiring debt of $182,000 coming up after the end of the 2026-27 fiscal year for us. That means that there's $148,000 shortfall in terms of debt. We ask the town of Ballston and the town of Milton, please participate in helping us alleviate that situation, begin to build reserves to help lower interest costs for everybody at the end of the day, because this ladder truck especially is very important. It's not just about tall buildings. Our last 3 structure fires that we had in the last year, the Rask fire, the Greenwood fire, and the West North Street fire, all had our ladder truck extended over the roof to fight the fire from up above. So this is not just about tall buildings. This is about fighting fires in every conceivable way to save lives, save possessions, save structures to the degree possible. The request I have, and I would ask to the degree amendments can be done, and we can talk about the contract later, but at least to give yourself room so you don't have to go amend it later if we come to that conclusion, is to amend for an additional $35,000 of what I believe was $39,000 of tax cap space that was left over in the preliminary budget. It doesn't affect the tax rate. You can still tout that you have no rise in tax rate this year. This would also, though, get us well on our way, because I'm willing to vouch for, at the village level, an additional $20,000 if you provide the $35,000. And it also means $12,000 in the town of Ballston. Your $35,000 would equate to $67,000 additional to the Ballston Spa Fire Department. That is a good chunk of change for us to start putting into reserve, to start planning on especially that ladder truck, so that when it comes in 3 years, we can, as I said, pay off a chunk and avoid the worst of the interest, or at least some large portion of the interest at that point in time. We need your help. I don't want to turn this into a toxic situation. I'm trying to be as respectful as I can. But when it comes to our fire department, it is very emotional for me personally, because I know what they go through. I've seen those fires. I saw how they reacted to the loss of the Greenwood fire. John Froelich, you know as well as I do. And it's a tough, tough moment to see that happen to people you look up to in those situations. And so that's why, Jim, apparently you suggested that there's no response because there was a view that my email was a rant. Well, I apologize if I ranted, but at the same time, it's that important to me. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, excuse me, Marion Pitsis, 516 Elk Circle. I just had a couple of comments or question. I noticed that resolution 109-2024 to purchase the new Burgess Kimball Memorial Playground equipment. I don't have a question about the money. I just had a question. I noticed it's a firm from New Jersey. I would hope that we look at New York State firms first. I know we have guidelines for what we can do with lowest bidder and all that stuff. And I'm assuming that the New Jersey company was hired because their materials are superior to any bids put in by New York State companies. So that's my comment on that. And then on page 2, where it talks about the code enforcement department sending people to the conference, I think there's a typo. I think you mean March 24th through 27th, 2025, not 2024. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Mike Iacolucci.
Thank you. Good evening. Mike Iacolucci, 3 Encore Drive. Just to also piggyback on what Marion asked about Resolution 109 and the park. I think I've made very clear to a lot of people that I have no good concept for building and how things play out from design to implementation. So just one question. Will the addition of this new playground equipment end up being disrupted if the Reimagine Milton project moves forward over the next few years? So just want to be sure that that has been looked at and thought about by the certain people, because I don't know enough to be able to say. And then just on the numbers. So I understand we're planning to use the ARPA funds. And if I'm doing my math correctly, the ARPA funds cover $975,000 of the $1,010,000 total cost. So the town's going to be coming up with $35,000 difference. Just in rough terms.
Yes.
I was on the right track. Good. Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, Mike. Anyone else? Brenda, anyone via Zoom?
No.
Hearing none, public comment number 1 is now closed. Moving on to resolutions. Resolution number 102 of 2024. Resolution adopting the town annual budget for the year 2025, whereas the town having on November 6th of 2024 commencing at 6 p.m. duly held a public hearing on a preliminary budget approved by this board and filed with the town clerk for the fiscal year commencing January 1 of 2025, and the town board having considered changes and filed preliminary budget and having made those changes, if any, available to the public and provided same to the town clerk for filing, and the town comptroller having added and made those changes to the budget, and the town board having heard all persons desiring to be heard on the matter and the matter of the budget of this town for such financial year having been fully discussed and considered, and now therefore be it resolved that the said preliminary budget as approved and filed is hereby approved and established as the final annual budget for the town of Milton for the fiscal year beginning January 1 of 2025, and that such annual budget as so adopted in detail herein and recited in the minutes of the proceeding of the town board is further amended as follows, if any, see attachment 1, if any, and so amended the said preliminary budget approved and filed as the aforesaid and hereby approved budget established as the official final annual budget of the town of Milton for the fiscal year beginning January 1st of 2025, and that such financial budget as amended and so adopted shall be and is attached to this resolution as the town of Milton's budget for the year 2025, and further resolved that the town clerk, town of Milton, shall prepare and certify as provided law duplicate copies and said annual budget hereby adopted along with all the amendments herein included and made, if any, and shall do all other actions as are required by law in regards to formal town budget adoption. Now therefore be it resolved by the town board, town of Milton, a motion for resolution number 102.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Councilman Del Nicky.
Yes.
Councilwoman Soden.
Yes.
Councilman Frolich.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kerr.
Yes.
Supervisor Ostrander.
Yes, next, resolution number 103 of 2024. Resolution to appoint Andrew Collier as a member to the Ethics Board of the Town of Milton. Whereas the Town of Milton Ethics Board consists of 5 members, all appointed by the Town Board for a term of 3 years, and now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board, Town of Milton, hereby appoints Andrew Collier of 9 Wyndham Way, Ballston Spa, New York, 12020, as a member of the Ethics Board of the Town of Milton, which said appointment will take effect and shall be effective until November 21st of 2024 and end on November 20th of 2027 to serve as a voluntary basis at the pleasure of the town board and without compensation. Now therefore be it resolved by the town board, town of Milton, a motion for resolution number 103.
I'll make that motion.
Second?
Any discussion? Councilman Del Nicky.
Yes.
Councilwoman Soden.
Yes.
Councilman Froelich.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kerr.
Yes.
Supervisor Ostrander.
Yes, next, resolution number 104 of 2024, resolution to appoint Kristen O'Brien as a member to the Ethics Board of the Town of Milton, whereas the Town Ethics Board consists of 5 members, all appointed by the Town Board for a term of 3 years, and now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board, Town of Milton hereby appoints Kristen O'Brien of 24 Woodthrush Court, Ballston Spa, New York 12020 as a member of the Ethics Board of the Town of Milton, which said appointment will take effect and shall be effective November 21st, 2024, and end on November 20th of 2027, to serve on a voluntary basis at the pleasure of the Town Board and without compensation. Now therefore be it resolved by the Town Board, Town of Milton, a motion for resolution number 104.
Make the motion. John could make it. I'll second.
Any discussion? Councilman Del Nicky.
Yes.
Councilwoman Soden.
Yes.
Councilman Froelich.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kerr.
Yes.
Supervisor Ostrander.
Yes, next, resolution number 105 of 2024, resolution to reappoint Richard Gorman to the Board of Assessment Review for a 5-year term commencing November 21st of 2024. Whereas Town of Milton Board of Assessment Review is currently has a member whose term is soon to expire, creating a vacancy, and the town has decided to reappoint the member who previously and recently held the said position, and now therefore be it resolved, the town board hereby appoints Richard Gorman of 125 Fairground Avenue, Ballston Spa, New York, 12020 to the Board of Assessment Review for a term of 5 years commencing November 21st, 2024, and continuing through the end of September 30th, 2029. Now therefore be it resolved by the town board, Town of Milton, a motion for resolution number 105.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Councilman Del Nicky.
Yes.
Councilwoman Soden.
Yes.
Councilman Froelich.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kerr.
Yes.
Supervisor Ostrander.
Yes, next, resolution number 106 of 2024, resolution to approve the medical, dental, vision, and retiree insurance plans for the year 2025. Whereas the town must renew its health insurance plan on a yearly basis, and the town comptroller of the Town of Milton has recommended that after a review of the town's current employee benefits package, which includes health insurance plans and the town's contributions to the same, the current plan to be renewed, and now therefore be it resolved, the town board hereby acknowledges a receipt and accepts the health insurance plan renewals for the period of February 1st, 2025 to January 31st of 2026, provided by Marshall and Sterling's, copy of which are attached hereto. Now therefore be it resolved by the town board, Town of Milton, a motion for resolution 106.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Councilman Del Nicky.
Yes.
Councilwoman Soden.
Yes.
Councilman Froelich.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kerr.
Yes.
Supervisor Ostrander.
Yes, next, resolution number 107 of 2024, resolution to approve the schedule of budgetary amendments proposed by the town comptroller. Whereas the town board, Town of Milton, from time to time finds it necessary to make budget amendments within the budget year based upon recommendations from the town comptroller. And now therefore be it resolved, the town board hereby approves the budgetary amendments and transfers as described and set forth in the schedule provided and recommended by the town comptroller, which said schedule is attached hereto and made a part thereof, and authorize the town comptroller to proceed with and make necessary budgetary amendments as set forth therein. Now therefore be it resolved by the town board, Town of Milton, a motion for resolution number 107.
Make that motion.
I'll second. Barb.
Any discussion? Councilman Del Nicky.
Yes.
Councilwoman Soden.
Yes.
Councilman Froelich.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kerr.
Yes.
Supervisor Ostrander.
Yes, next, resolution number 108 of 2024, resolution to approve the modification of the plumbing, electrical, and construction contracts for the Round Street Highway Facility per recommendation of Delaware Engineering, DPC, and the Facilities Committee. Whereas the town board was advised that certain additional plumbing, electrical, and construction work were recently discovered that need to be pursued as part of the site construction for the new Round Street Highway Facility. which upon further review will benefit the town and the project, were not anticipated nor covered by the original contract entered into between the town and the contractors, and which have recently been recommended by Delaware Engineer and DPC, the town engineer, and the project architect. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board, after due consideration upon recommendation from the Town Facilities Committee, the town engineer and project architect, Delaware Engineering DPC, and the review of the comptroller, authorizes and awards the following change orders as set forth in the attached letter, caption recommendation to approve contract modifications of Delaware Engineering DPC dated November 20th of 2024. Number one, RF Gordon Mechanical LLC foundation wall between the columns 2 and 3 along G, increase in thickness resulting in the need to lengthen an already installed pipe sleeve, as was applied to the contract drawn down, and allowances that requires unchanged net contract value in the sum of $0. Number two, B&D Industries Incorporated contractors were under the assumption that the existing 100A service was to remain in place as a temporary power source. The construction trailer was set forth prior to removing the 100 amp service and was tied into the existing 100 amp service. The trailer was relocated to a facility on a new connection to the upgrade service. At this point was applied to the contract drawn down and allowances. This requires an unchanged net contract value in the sum of $0. Number three, Plank LLC, additional modification to piers, tie rods, and steel plates that were added in the CCD number 2 and required for proper and safer construction as discussed between Delaware and Plank on-site and held on 10/7 of 2024. As this was applied to the contract drawn down and allowances, this requires an unchanged net contract value in the sum of $0. And it's further resolved, the town board hereby directs the supervisor to take whatever steps that are necessary to execute an agreement between the town of Milton, RF Gordon Mechanical LLC, B&D Industries Incorporated, and Plank LLC for such improvements and work, and any required change under documentation or inspection documentation which will be needed and necessary for processing and completing the change orders, and to do all that is needed and required to pay all amounts owed under this agreement. Motion for resolution number 108.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Councilman Del Nicky.
Yes.
Councilwoman Soden.
Yes.
Councilman Froelich.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kerr.
Yes.
Supervisor Ostrander.
Yes, the next resolution number 109 of 2024, resolution approve the proposal to purchase the Burgess Kimball Memorial Park playground equipment and safety surfacing using state and local physical recovery funds, whereas the town of Milton, as part of the upgrade to update town hall and town park property, is in need and desirous of obtaining new additional playground equipment and surfacing for the Burgess Kimball Memorial Park playground pursuant to the town's procurement policy. Such quotes and proposals for the purchases and installation of such. And now therefore be it resolved, the town board, after due consideration upon recommendation from the town comptroller, hereby authorizes the purchase and installation of new playground equipment at the Burgess Kimball Memorial Park from Game Time Recreation with the address of P.O. Box 106, Spring Lake, New Jersey 07762 for the price of $657,039.83. And for the safety surfacing from Rubber Recycling of 1985 Rutgers University Boulevard, Lakewood, New Jersey 08701 for the price of $353,340 plus any miscellaneous and other incidental expenses associated therein, and further hereby directs the supervisor to take whatever steps necessary in order to obtain, purchase, and execute an agreement between the town of Milton Game Time Recreation and Rubber Recycling for the purpose and installation of such, and to do all that is needed and required to pay all amounts owed pursuant to such with monies appropriated and paid for by the state and local physical recovery fund. Now therefore be it resolved by the town board, town of Milton, a motion for resolution number 109.
I'll make the motion.
Second?
Any discussion? Councilman Del Nicky.
Yes.
Councilwoman Soden.
Yes.
Councilman Froelich.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kerr.
Yes.
Supervisor Ostrander.
Yes, next, resolution number 110 of 2024, resolution to enact a local law amending the sections of the town code in connection with the updates to the roadways and infrastructure dedication standards and procedures. Whereas the town board determined it's necessary to develop a up-to-date procedure and forms for the dedication of the roadways from private developers to the town has since caused preparation of the local law and would amend the governing section of the town code, including chapter 152, which is street and highway specifications, chapter 154, subdivision of land, and chapter 180, which is zoning. And now therefore be it resolved, the town board, town of Milton hereby approves the modification of the current town code and adopts local law number 6 of 2024, amending chapters 152, 154, and 180, in a full copy of which local law is attached hereto, and be further resolved that the town clerk be and hereby is directed to enter the said local law in minutes of this meeting and local law book of the town of Milton, and give prior notice to the adoption of the said local law to the Secretary of the State of New York. Now therefore be it resolved by the town board, town of Milton, a motion for resolution number 110.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Councilman Del Nicky.
Yes.
Councilwoman Soden.
Yes.
Councilman Froelich.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kerr.
Yes.
Supervisor Ostrander.
Yes, the next resolution, number 111 of 2024, resolution in accordance with Chapter 152 of the Town of Milton Town Code to adopt the Town of Milton's highway and required infrastructure construction and dedication policies and procedures and standard details and construction specifications. Whereas the town board determined necessary to develop an up-to-date procedure and forms for the dedication of the roadways from private developers to the town, and on November 20th of 2024 adopted local law number 6 of 2024, that among any provisions amended chapter 152, which is street and highway specifications, to provide the town board and may adopt by resolution of certain standards, specifications, and procedures. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board, town of Milton, in accordance with chapter 152-6 subdivision B, adopts the town of Milton highway and required infrastructure construction and dedication policies and procedures, and further adopts the town standard details and construction specifications, full and complete copies which are attached to this resolution and made a part thereof. Now therefore be it resolved by the town board, town of Milton, a motion for resolution number 111.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Councilman Del Nicky.
Yes.
Councilwoman Soden.
Yes.
Councilman Froelich.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kerr.
Yes.
Supervisor Ostrander.
Yes, next resolution number 112 of 2024, resolution to approve the party agreements regarding the conveyance of Heritage Springs Sewer Works assets to the Saratoga County Sewer Department. Whereas the town has been engaged in the process of discussing and negotiating the transfer of Heritage Springs Works Incorporation Sewer System to Saratoga County. Now therefore be it resolved, town board, town of Milton, hereby number 1 approves the memorandum of understanding between the town, Heritage Springs Works Incorporated, and Saratoga County Sewer District in contemplation and effect the transfer of the Heritage Springs system to the County of Saratoga Sewer District, and in full settlement of pending litigation between Heritage Springs and the town. And number 2, authorize the general fund appropriation in the sum of $167,000 to be combined with previous collected connection charges and court-awarded legal fees, all to be applied toward the transfer of the settlement, and further hereby direct supervisor to take whatever action and steps that are necessary to execute the said agreement and formal binding contracts for said purposes, subject to the review and approval of the town attorney, town engineer, and to the appropriate said sums to do all that is needed and required to pay all amounts owed pursuant to such. Now therefore be it resolved by the town board, town of Milton, a motion for resolution number 112.
Make that motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Councilman Del Nicky.
Yes.
Councilwoman Soden.
Yes.
Councilman Froelich.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kerr.
Yes.
Supervisor Ostrander.
Yes. Next, a motion to approve Code Enforcement Department William Lewis, Mark DeLong, Fred Harris to attend the Northern Adirondack Code Enforcement Official Education Conference in Lake Placid, starting on March the 24th, going through the 27th of 2025, with a cost not to exceed $1,448 per person or $4,344 in total.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Councilman Del Nicky.
Yes.
Councilwoman Soden.
Yes.
Councilman Froelich.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kerr.
Yes.
Supervisor Ostrander.
Yes, next, a motion to approve Billy Murdy, a senior automotive mechanic in the Highway Department, to buy back 40 hours of vacation time.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Councilman Del Nicky.
Yes.
Councilwoman Soden.
Yes.
Councilman Froelich.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kerr.
Yes.
Supervisor Ostrander.
Yes, next, a motion to approve William Lewis, the code enforcement officer, to buy back 40 hours of his vacation time.
I'll make that motion.
Second?
Any discussion? Councilman Del Nicky.
Yes.
Councilwoman Soden.
Yes.
Councilman Froelich.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kerr.
Yes.
Supervisor Ostrander.
Yes, next, a motion to approve Kevin Ubrick, a working supervisor in the Highway Department, to buy back 40 hours of his vacation also.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? Councilman Del Nicky.
Yes.
Councilwoman Soden.
Yes.
Councilman Froelich.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kerr.
Yes.
Supervisor Ostrander.
Yes, next, a motion to accept the resignation of Tim Manis from the Board of Assessment Review, effective October 24th, 2024.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Councilman Del Nicky.
Yes.
Councilwoman Soden.
Yes.
Councilman Froelich.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kerr.
Yes.
Supervisor Ostrander.
Yes, next, a motion to advertise for the open Board of Assessment Review position.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Councilman Del Nicky.
Yes.
Councilwoman Soden.
Yes.
Councilman Froelich.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kerr.
Yes.
Supervisor Ostrander.
Yes, next, a motion to accept the resignation of Lisa Marie Dapper from the Ethics Committee.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Councilman Del Nicky.
Yes.
Councilwoman Soden.
Yes.
Councilman Froelich.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kerr.
Yes.
Supervisor Ostrander.
Yes, next, department and committee reports, starting with Animal Control, Eric.
Animal Control Monthly Report for October 2024. Total calls 70, bite cases 6, dangerous dog hearing 0, animals seized 6, and tickets were issued. Unlicensed dog 4, none for running at large or nuisance dogs, but there was a nuisance chicken, so one ticket issued there for a total of 5. Respectfully submitted, David Drzezinski, Animal Control Officer.
Thank you, Eric. Next is the assessor's report. You're up again.
The assessor's calendar has some dates of importance. There's quite a few here. January 1st, property bills go out. 2024 warrant date reflects the 2024 assessment roll. March 1st, all exemptions must be received to be applied toward the 2025 assessment roll. March 2nd begins my 2026 assessment roll. May 1st, 2025, tentative assessment roll. May 27th, 2025 is grievance day. Any assessment grievance RP 524 must be received by May 27th, 2025 at 4 p.m. June 1st, village bills go out for prior year 2024 assessment roll. July 1st, 2025, final assessment roll, and September 1st, the school bills go out. If you have not received your Star Credit Check, please contact New York State Tax and Finance at 518-457-2036. You will need to know your parcel identification or SBL number located on your tax bill, or contact our office for the ID number. If you receive Star exemption located on your school tax bill, you will not be receiving a Star Credit Check. Have a great Thanksgiving. Kind regards, Laura Arminsky, Town of Milton Assessor.
Thank you, Eric. Next, Building Department, John.
Okay. During the month of September, the building department managed 32 buildings permits. This is September, it says on it, but I'm assuming it's for October. Collected $5,906.67 in building permit fees. fulfilled 12 fire and safety inspections, completed 134 construction inspections, responded to 7 code enforcement violations. 5 certificates of occupancies were issued along with 20 certificates of compliance.
Thank you, John. Next, buildings and grounds, Bart.
During the month of October, I did daily cleaning of the community center, town parks, and all town offices, including the highway department, set up and takedowns at the community center as needed. I did weekly mowing of the parks and cemeteries and monthly inspection of fire extinguishers and AED machines. We have inspected all the playground equipment at Burgess Kimball Park and Suzanne Lyle Playground. We are continuing fall cleanup of outside properties.
Thank you, Barb. Next, the comptroller's financial reporting package was issued to the town board and is made available for public inspection on the town's website. Next, economic development, John Olenek.
Good evening. I have a number of items in starting with local business support. In addition to the continuing efforts to seek out and attract new business to our town, I have an ongoing program of reaching out and meeting with our existing business owners. This ongoing engagement is critical to fostering a strong, supportive relationship between our local government and business community. By consistently reaching out and understanding their operational challenges, growth plans, and unique needs, we demonstrate our commitment to their long-term success. Through proactive communication, we can identify areas where business may require assistance, such as regulatory guidance or infrastructure support. By addressing these needs before they escalate, we help them thrive, promoting stability and growth within our local economy. Regular contact also allows us to receive valuable feedback on town policies, services, and the business climate, enabling us to make informed adjustments that can further enhance the appeal of our town for other potential businesses. This ongoing support not only strengthens our relationship with current businesses, but also builds a reputation for the town as a proactive and business-friendly environment, which is essential for economic retention and growth. Meetings with developers. I've had meetings with one of our large developers and commercial real estate broker who has expressed an interest and enthusiasm in working to attract business into Milton. This broker indicated that the word on the street is that Milton is becoming a desirable location and that our current planning, once completed, will warrant a very high demand. McDonald's. I have had meetings with the planning board chairman, John Bartow, and our director of planning, Sophia, to discuss the ongoing design revisions of the McDonald's project. And this is to encourage their engineer to conform to the style to the surrounding existing architecture styles in our town center. This project was brought to our planning board this past November 13th, and the revised designs were met with preliminary approval, although there were a few elements which needed to be addressed, and the project will be coming back for further review in December. Chamber of Commerce. Attending the recent Saratoga Chamber of Commerce's annual business-to-business function was a valuable experience, fostering networking and collaboration. The event gathered diverse business owners and leaders from the Saratoga area, creating an opportunity to discuss industry needs, share insights, and explore potential partnerships. Engaging with various professionals allowed for meaningful connections, facilitating a deeper understanding of the local business environment and community needs. The exchange of ideas was both refreshing and enlightening, providing a platform for collaborative growth. Overall, the function underscored the importance of community involvement in economic development and highlighting the region's dynamic business landscape. Restaurant prospects. Discussions with 2 potential restaurant investors are progressing, one with expressing keen interest in visiting Milton to assess its business potential firsthand. We're coordinating schedules to arrange a tour aiming to showcase Milton's appeal as a dining location. This essential focus in our pitch is the town's growing surrounding population, which promises a reliable customer base and steady local demand. Highlighting population metrics over traditional traffic counts is crucial, as it reflects the community's potential for consistent patronage, fostering long-term success. This strategic approach aims to attract investors by demonstrating the advantages of Milton's community-oriented market over transit traffic. The Airport Diner. I have been facilitating discussions between the county and the prospective diner operator, ensuring clear and ongoing communication about key aspects of the project. This includes collaborating on the physical layout of the kitchen and dining areas, as well as discussions for the terms of the lease agreement. By keeping all parties connected and informed, we're working to address any specific needs or adjustments early on, fostering a smooth development process that aligns with both the county's and the operator's goals. The North Line project. The developer of this convenience store gas station has advised that the project is nearing completion and anticipates an opening date sometimes after Thanksgiving. Once the project is complete, I will help facilitate the grand opening arrangements. Cannabis dispensary. Planning board gave its final approval on this project this past October 21st, and the applicant was waiting for our building department to issue the building permit, which was finally issued, so now the construction and remodeling process has begun. There is an anticipated opening date of around December 13th. Ted's Fish Fry. Ted's Fish Fry recently purchased the former Pizza Hut building located just over the village line on Route 50. Since it is still within the town of Milton, I contacted the owner, Mr. William Deeb, to introduce myself and offer any assistance I could provide, including arranging for the grand opening. I was advised that the work on the property is taking more time than anticipated with the architect and contractor. So the anticipated opening date of October, November is now being pushed ahead to around February 2025. They are looking forward to being part of our business community. And the Milltown Center, this project is nearing final approval from the planning board, and once approved, we can open discussions regarding attracting commercial tenants, which will complement existing businesses and benefit our town. And any other additional activities, as a member of the Comprehensive Plan Advisory Committee, I continue to attend the monthly meetings in addition to the regular monthly and special planning board meetings, and also the monthly functions of the Saratoga Chamber of Commerce. That's it.
Thank you, John. Next, the Highway Department, John.
Yep. The Highway Department has been working diligently with their fall cleanup. They will continue to pick up leaves and yard debris that have been placed curbside until the first major snowfall. We encourage our residents to get their debris curbside as quickly as possible. Leaves and yard debris cannot be placed in the roadway, as it creates both a safety issue and a stormwater management violation. Sticks and branches must be kept separate from the leaves. Mixed piles may not be picked up. Any branches or small tree trunks must be under 5 feet in length for them to be picked up. We do not pick up stumps. Leaves and yard debris cannot be placed curbside once the continuous winter weather begins. Town residents can also bring their lawn debris to the transfer station located at 503 Geyser Road. Transfer station hours are Monday through Thursday from 6 a.m. to 4:30 p.m.
Thank you, John. Next, historian, Mike.
Good evening, everyone. Mike Companion, town historian. This is my report for November. Throughout the month, I continue to work on Oakwood Cemetery. I started actually last month, raking and resetting gravestones. My original plan was to have of the 50 gravestones laying on the ground. Believe it or not, when you went to that cemetery, all you saw was a leaf-covered space. There are 80 gravestones in there. You couldn't tell that. I said about 17 last month and 30 this month. So I put up 47 gravestones. This basically, and my goal was get them all done by Christmas. I'm done now. So of all the gravestones in there I could find, I put them up. There are about 10 grave sites that don't have stones. The first grave was actually in 1794, so that's kind of a given. That's the most stones would disappear. But again, they're all up. When you walk in there now, you can actually see a graveyard. Previously, you couldn't tell it was a graveyard even there. The leaves are all cleaned up, so if anyone wants to take a stroll over there, it's Oakwood Court. Go check it out. Saturday, November 2nd, I and my Revolutionary War reenactment group took part in the Revolutionary Run at Fort Hardy Park to raise money for veterans of Saratoga County. On Thursday, November 24th, I met with the Historic Structures and Places Committee, which we discussed a number of programs and projects for the upcoming year, and we set our meeting schedule for 2025. The first thing we talked about was the Heritage Award, which we give out every year, and we basically went through a list of about like 4 different possible residences which we thought were deserving, and we chose one, which I'm going to reach out to the homeowners now and see if they're okay with actually us honoring them. Cemetery updates I also gave the board, the committee was, the fact is that we put up new signs at Frank Cemetery. Again, set those stones at Oakwood. We are having a sign made for Circle C Cemetery, and we are again, tonight I checked the progress on the West Milton Cemetery, where that is as far as the town taking control. It still hasn't gone anywhere thus far, so. Our big project for the year is going to be called the Mills of Milton, which obviously our town is named after the fact that we are basically a manufacturing region. The committee discussed the plans for our infrastructure project to educate the community on the historical importance of mills to the economic, social, and cultural development of the town of Milton. As part of the project, we discussed the placement of 2 large educational panels, 4 feet by 6 feet, at points of interest to the town, Treble Park Pavilion and the town hall near the entrance of the parking lot, or 2 possible places we actually established these. We also discussed the second phase of the project, creating additional informational panels for specific regions or hamlets in the town, including the Village, Rock City Falls, Factory Village, West Milton, and Milton Center. So that's my report for this month. Thanks.
Thank you, Mike. Next, Justice Court, Barb.
Okay, sorry. Charges from October 1st through October 31st. Fines, $3,238. Surcharges, $3,177. Civil fees, $467, for a total of $6,882.
Thank you, Barb. Next, planning, consulting, planning and zoning report, Meg.
All right, the planning report by Sophia Maruso. I'll just highlight a few items here. You can read the rest online. There's several items. Planning reviews for the proposed McDonald's site plan, 10 Treble Ave. The 34 lot major subdivision on 272 Stone Church Road, and Leaf and Fog Dispensary on 2124 Doubleday Avenue. Planning reviews for the ZBA applications at 12 Vichy Drive and 1394 Armor Road area variance. Meetings with the McDonald's rep regarding the site layout and architectural standards for the new site plan. More to come on that in my next report. Pre-application conference for 6010 County Farm Road Cell Tower. Zoom meeting for the county MS4 program for stormwater coordinators. And that was on 11/14. Ongoing coordination with Amanda on the application intake and content review. Ongoing coordination with Bill Lewis on the ZBA applications and pre-application conference and land use inquiries. Ongoing coordination with Delaware Engineering regarding project reviews, communication with the county and agencies, and ongoing coordination with Chairman Bartow on the planning board and Chairman Terhune on the zoning board on staff reviews. And then there are other items, as I said, that you can reference online.
Thank you, Meg.
Actually, I
next-
do have zoning and planning as well.
Okay.
I'll read that one. All right, so the planning board met on November 13th. Several items there that they covered. It was a quite lengthy meeting. 939 Rock City Road, which was a site plan for the cell tower. The public hearing was conducted. The seeker was approved and the site plan was approved. Milltown Center, which was also the site plan. The public hearing was conducted and adjourned until December 11th at 7:05 with additional information needed. 6654 Middle Grove Road, which is a special use extension for the solar farm. The last special use extension approved through December 10th, 2024. They granted the additional 6-month extension through June 10th, 2025. 272 Stone Church Road preliminary plat, which was a major subdivision, 34 lots. The public hearing was scheduled for December 11th at 7:10. 10 Treble Avenue, which is a special use site plan that was for the McDonald's. Unlisted action for seeker, discussed gables and architectural design for the building. Board wanted to see additional elevation changes of the building, like some of the Dunkin' Donuts and McDonald's in parts of New York State. Doubleday Avenue, special use site plan, mixed use development. No variances needed. It's a 54-unit proposed. Lansing gave an overview of the project. The planning board and TDE gave them a list of items needed to complete the application. 2124, which was Doubleday Avenue, special use and site plan, seeker completed and public hearing scheduled for December 11th. The Town of Milton Town Board referral for the road dedication procedures, local law, discussed the draft memo and got the planning board feedback. Chairman Bartow and the council will redraft, which was done and approved here. Zoning board took place, the last one was October 24th. Next one will be tomorrow. 3297 Shaw Hill Road, which is for an area variance. The public hearing was held for the area variance. The rear setback relief needed to build a garage. The area variance was approved. The 12 Vichy Drive, which is also an area variance. The public hearing is scheduled for November 21st tomorrow. 1394 Armor Road, which is also another area variance. It's a very complicated area variance, but the public hearing is scheduled also for tomorrow.
Thank you, Meg. Next, Brenda, town clerk.
Okay. So for the month of October, we had 9 marriages, 2 one-day officiant licenses, 6 certified marriage certificates, 49 certified death certificates, 17 FOIL and search of records requests, 104 dog licensing, with 15 of those being online, 43 hunting and fishing licenses, 4 pavilion and community center rentals, with a total of $3,238.27.
Thank you, Brenda. Do you have any youth bureau?
I do. We had a meeting on Monday. It was really fast. There's not a whole lot going on. All the funding for the 2024 has been paid out, and all of the approvals for the 2025 summer programs have been awarded. And that's pretty much all that we talked about. Our next meeting will be in March.
Thank you, Brenda. Next, public comment number 2. Public comment number 2, town business only. Public comment number 2 is now open. Yes, Tim Bantham.
Good evening. Tim Bantham, 32 Birch Tree Lane. It's my habit prior to coming to the monthly meeting that I review the agenda and I also review the resolutions. And a lot of times, because they're written in legalese, I have to read them a few times to understand them.
Mm-hmm.
So I was very surprised to hear you mention Heritage Springs tonight because that was not on the agenda, nor was it in the resolutions online. So I was a little taken aback because I'd like to understand what's going on, and I'm hoping, I understand that this is a controversial topic. I understand that there's an ongoing litigation for this issue. I don't claim to understand all the ins and outs of it, but I'm wondering, to the degree that you are able, can you elaborate more on that resolution? What's happening so the townspeople can understand?
Well, that is pending litigation still, so we cannot comment it. Once everything is complete and the documents are signed, then it'll become public.
Can I ask what the intent of the resolution was tonight?
To move forward with the town's litigation part of it, the lawsuit, and to provide Saratoga County moving forward with their purchase of the system.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else? Hi, Ashley. How are you? Good, thank you.
So Ashley Edwards, Community Emergency Code of 19, guys wrote. I just wanted to say thank you guys for working with us with the 2025 budget. We are also in the process of certifying some more CPR instructors and some various different courses. So hopefully soon in the near future, we'll be able to offer that right in our building for the public. And I wanted to let everybody know that we are a Toys for Tots drop-off site as well. So we have a box in the back of our building, but we also have a box in the front of our building. There's cameras all over it. We have opened our front vestibule and pulled the box inside. So 24 hours a day, anybody can drop off whenever it's convenient.
Actually, I know a lot of people are still inquiring maybe an open house to see that new building. If you guys can think about maybe doing that, because I've been getting a lot of inquiries about that.
Yeah, we talk about that pretty often. The logistics of it are a bit difficult, because the ambulances still need to come and go.
Right.
Which I think everyone has realized we're pretty busy.
Yes,
Yeah, we will continue working on that with our board.
I'd appreciate that. Thank you. Anyone else like to speak in the audience? Brenda, anybody via Zoom?
Michelle, do that.
Okay.
Go ahead, Michelle. Unmute.
Hi, can you hear me?
No, can't hear you.
I'm unmuted. Can you hear me?
Barely.
We lost her again.
I'm not sure. You're not able to hear me?
Oh, we can now.
You can now. Okay. All right. Perfect. Michelle Judah, 34 Van Tassel Lane. I'm just going to ask the question that Tim Bantham asked again. Can you please explain the resolution? And are you sure that you want to stay with the answer that you gave to him? We're not asking about ongoing litigation. We're asking about the resolution that you passed this evening without any notice to the public that it was going to happen.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Can you hear me, Michelle?
Yes.
Yeah, so that resolution is the start of the process to get the heritage system purchased by and moved over to the Saratoga County Sewer District. And also part of that agreement will be the settlement of our pending lawsuit, which, as the supervisor said, we really can't comment on those details. And we really can't comment on the actual agreement until we get confirmation from Heritage that they actually agree to the minute details. We do have verbal confirmation from them as far as what the agreement will be, what will be entailed to make it happen. With the county involved, it's a much slower process. So tonight's resolution starts our process where we're approving, authorizing the supervisor to enter into a memorandum of understanding with Heritage to make that process start.
And I will just say that I know that the remedy that the judge was calling for in the lawsuit because of civil contempt of members of the board who approved the waiving of fees, hookup fees to Heritage Springs, called for repayment of the past hookup fees with interest and covering Heritage Springs attorney fees because the judge indicated that we were forcing them to relitigate matters that had already been settled. And I do believe that I heard some repayment of those things in the resolution passed tonight. And I think it's really kind of reprehensible that it wasn't on the agenda for people to know it was coming up and that we weren't given a straight answer when Mr. Bantham asked about it.
Michelle, I believe I gave you the same answer Jim gave you, so I'm not sure what you're looking for. That's still in litigation. Once everything is done and signed, they'll become public records, so it'll be foilable. So, I mean, this town board has nothing to hide. Once the documents and it's all said and done, that they will be made available to the public. Anyone else, Brenda?
Nope.
Public comment number 2 is now closed. Brenda, any correspondence?
We received notification from, from the town of Malta regarding a cell tower. They were just letting us know because we're within 500 feet. And from Charlton, Charlton is wants to do a moratorium, and they are also looking to change their zoning. So they just were letting us know it's all within 500 feet of our town lines. That's it.
We've been notified by the village of a new tower that they would be looking to put up at John Street Tower also. Same thing as the other 2 that you received, so they just want to notify us of that also. Is there any new discussion on any new business by the board tonight?
I guess it's not new or old business, but I would like to take a minute and talk about this fire contract.
John, you need your.
Oh, I got it on.
Okay.
I've worked for the last year, over a year, trying to work the numbers of this fire contract. It's been very difficult. I know we are at an impasse. It doesn't seem like we're getting any place. I think at this point, probably behooves us to invite the village up here, get together with the Association of New York State Fire Districts experts, get together with the Association of Towns experts, and have a fresh set of eyes come in and help us mediate this thing. Because to be honest with you, a lot of what our numbers are estimates because we haven't gotten straight numbers.
Yeah, John, I agree. I mean, we've offered that to the village to have them come in and sit down and mediate this, and they're not willing to do that. And I'm not going to get in any particular details because we're still in negotiations with that. But yeah, we were willing to open up because we feel our numbers that we have are solid from our comptroller, and we stand by our numbers. So that's why we offered to have the professionals come in and sit down with us. But I'm at this point, the village is not willing to do that. So like I said, I'm not going to talk anything further because we're still in negotiations in reference to the contract with the fire department itself. Anyone else?
I don't know if it's new or old business.
That's fine.
Comprehensive Review Committee is meeting December 3rd, and the topic that evening will be transportation. And just a quick announcement that we have our bus route back up Rollins Street, so to accommodate our citizens along that line.
Thanks, Barb. Meg, anything?
Ribbon cutting for Miss Press Boutique on 30 Front Street. This is going to be Thursday, November 12th at 4 p.m.
Thanks. Eric?
Nothing on the new.
Nothing new?
Oh, the parade. Don't forget the Christmas parade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the date on
The
that?
December
6th.
6th.
December
Right.
6th?
Yep.
And I think we're going to have a float. Thank you.
Yay.
Thank you, Kevin. 6:30, I'm sorry.
Can I ask?
Absolutely, Mike. Come on up. You're always entertaining.
I meant to mention earlier, my committees, I have 2 committees under the Historians Department, and Historic Structures and Places is one, and the other one is the Revolutionary 250th Committee. And I'm down to like 5 and 4 members on each one. So if anybody has any interest in either of those things, like looking at the history, you guys, yeah, I saw a nod over here. Kevin? Okay, so anybody interested, I'd appreciate you just getting a hold of me, and I'll put you on my email and let you know when the next meeting is. Thanks.
Thanks, Mike. Toys for Tots, we have 2 boxes here. If anybody from the public wants to donate, they can come to Town Hall during the business hours and drop them off. They will be here until December 19th. That's when they'll be pulled. So any discussion on old business? I have one, Woods Hollow, still in the attorney's hands at this point. So we're hoping to close hopefully within the next month or so. Within the next month. So that's a work in progress, and that's definitely moving forward. Any other old business?
Just
John?
facilities update. Things are moving along nicely up at the site for the town highway garage. There isn't much to report there. The playground, to answer your question, the playground equipment is being located where it shows it on the Reimagine Milton site. That way, the way we have laid it all out and phased it out, that's where it fits. So, and the Reimagine Milton site preliminary report is back, right? So we maybe can get that out.
I was not kidding about the nuisance chicken, so if you folks thought I was joking, it was honest to God. And that's old business. Mike, you do good and noble work. I don't know if you like to work alone out there standing up stones, but if you need help out there, by all means.
I appreciate it. It's too late.
Well, it sounds like we may dig up more, and it sounds like we could put something where some stones are missing.
My neighbor has chickens, and I love those guys. They come over and eat the ticks.
I have no more details.
They're great.
Anyone else? Hearing none, we will not be going into executive session this evening, so a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Happy Thanksgiving, by the way.
Councilman Delnicki,
Yes.
Councilwoman Soden,
Yes.
Councilman Froelich,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kerr,
Yes.
Supervisor Ostrander.
Yes, everybody have a wonderful Thanksgiving from our board to your families. Thank you.